But Dr. Cortex, we have not determined the cause of past failures. Moron! This Bandicoot will be my general, and he will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination. This time I shall reign triumphant. We are closer than ever before. Quickly, into the vortex! But Dr. Cortex, the vortex is not ready. We have no idea what it could do. Failure again. Capture him! Uh-oh. Prepare the female Bandicoot.
In the early days of Sony's PlayStation, there wasn't really a striking mascot or bright game that people could stick next to the PlayStation name. Nintendo had Mario and Zelda, and Sega had Sonic the Hedgehog. But it wouldn't be until a year into the PlayStation's lifetime that the then controversial developers Naughty Dog would arrive to save the day with their upcoming Sony exclusive platformer, Willy the Wombat. Okay, don't worry, it was later changed to Crash Bandicoot. In Crash Bandicoot you will play as the aforementioned Critter, who needs to go through the Wumpa Islands to rescue his girlfriend Torna, who has been kidnapped by an evil mad scientist named Dr. Neo Cortex, and has locked her up in a tall tower in a land far, far away. So the story isn't anything special, but honestly, who cares? Crash Bandicoot is all about the gameplay, which is your traditional scrolling platformer, just this time from a third-person perspective. The level design is quite linear and controlled, but Crash Bandicoot uses various new features from the PlayStation to make things feel much more fresh and innovative, such as being chased by giant bears or boulders inspired by Indiana Jones, or riding on a wild hog at top speed. However, ultimately Crash Bandicoot never pushes the boundaries of the genre, which, at this point, game consoles were riddled with side-scrolling platformers, and Crash Bandicoot's only standout feature was the wacky cast of characters and stunning visuals. Crash Bandicoot features a very memorable cast of villains, from Pinstripe Potoroo to the crazy Dr. Jekyll-inspired Naturus Brio. These unfortunately have some pretty disappointing and often frustrating boss battles, but the characters themselves are welcome additions. The levels mostly feature a very refreshing tribal theme to them that sets them apart from other platformers which reuse the same old desert levels and snow levels and jungle levels routine. Here there is a sense of personality and style. Each section is highly impressive, having high polygon counts, great texture mapping and tons of vegetation and colour, bringing to life each background. It's just a shame you can't wander off in the better looking directions. Whereas Crash Bandicoot may have had some new ideas, a lot was reused from earlier platformers. Collecting 100 items grants you a new life. Collecting a special item grants you temporary invulnerability. A lot of reused ideas really brought out the simplicity of Crash Bandicoot, which in one way is quite charming, but another quite derivative. Crash Bandicoot's controls are a little concerning too, especially for being a platformer. Crash has very rigid movements due to there being no analog support, and this ultimately makes many deaths feel like the game's fault and can sometimes even ruin the experience. Overall, Crash Bandicoot was a typical jumper with very cognate level designs and forgettable boss encounters. However, it can't go unsaid that Crash did push the boundaries of the PlayStation at the time, offering some beautiful scenery and a very unique tribal palette and sound design that hadn't been seen before. And who could possibly forget that lovable marsupial mascot it invented? In my opinion, the first Crash game can often get a little bit too much credit for what it really is, but for the first entry in the much larger franchise, it was a good effort. Crash Bandicoot gets a good 70%. Thanks for watching this PlayStation 1 review. I hope you enjoyed, and may even think about subscribing. Until next time, adios.